Hello, my name is Fuad Kaishi, and our today topics is about SSH. SSH meaning SSH stands for Secure Shell or Secure Sockets Shell. It is a cryptographic network protocol that allows two computers communicating and sharing um, files together or any data. It is also used to log in to a remote server to execute commands and data transfer from one machine to another machine. The SSH was developed by SSH Communication um, Security Ltd to safely communicate with their remote machines. Secure communication provides a strong password authentication and encrypted communication with a public key over an insecure channel. It is used to replace unprotected remote login protocols such as Telnet, RLogin, RSH, and etc. Um, and in insecure file transfer protocol (FTP). Its security features are widely used by network administration for managing systems and applications remotely. The SSH protocol protects the networks from various attacks such as DNS spoofing, IP secure routing, and IP spoofing. For example, to better understand such a purpose of the SSH, uh, think you want to transfer a packet to one of your friends. Without the SSH protocol, it can be opened and read by anyone. But if you will send it using SSH protocol, it will be encrypted um, securely and with the public key, and only the receiver can open it. In addition to providing a strong encryption, SSH is widely used by network administration to manage system and applications remotely, enabling them to log in to another computer over a network. SSH refer to both the cryptographic network protocol and to the suite of utilities that implement that protocol. SSH use the client service model, connecting a secure shell client application, which is the end where the session is displayed, with an SSH server, which is the end where the session runs. SSH can also be used to create secure tunnels for other application protocols. For example, to securely run X window system graphical sessions remotely. Um, in addition, SSH server by default listen on the standard transmission control protocol TCP port 22. These are some usage of the SSH protocol. Most popular ones are for provides secure access to users and automate process. It is an easy and secure way to transfer files from one system to another over the insecure network like internet. It is also issue remote commands to the users. It helps the users to manage the network infrastructure and other critical system components. It is to and moreover, you can find many popular usage of SSH. How to implement SSH? SSH is an open protocol. It has been implemented from most computing platform. The open source OpenSSH implements in the is the one most commonly found on Linux, Unix, and other OS-based Berkeley software distribution, include apps, Apple's and macOS. OpenSSH was ported to run in Windows PowerShell starting in 2015. However, most implementation of the SSH suite comprise their three utilities: slogin, SSH, and SCP secure copy. The SSH client is a tool used on the laptop, workstation, or even on mobile devices. Depending on the OS, um, you will have SSH installed by default. If using Windows, you will have to pick a SSH client if you are not using WSL. After you made your first few connections, you will likely want to edit the SSH configuration to increase the security and productivity. For example, creating an alias for SSH div that's configure the user and set up the correct agent forwarding. The SSH server is the program that runs on the device you want to connect to. It could be a server, but can be also an embedded device. Since SSH is a protocol, the program could be from a range of different SSH server with most having some kind of int interoperability. For example, it's possible to teleport with OpenSSH. SSH certificate. The next level up from SSH key is SSH certificate. With SSH certificate, um, you generate a certificate authority and then use this to issue and cryptography to cryptograph signed certificates that can authenticate users to host or host users. There are a few unique properties of certificate that greatly improve security on them. It can be issued on demand. The second benefit, it is the ability to link certificate to users and their identity. By linking certificate to a user, it become easy to figure out who access which system and provide fun um, grain are back for which system they can access. How does SSH work? In order to establish an SSH connection, we need two components: a client and the corresponding server-side components. The protocol works in the client-server model, which means that the connection is established by the SSH client connecting to the SSH server. The SSH client drives the connection setup process and uses public key cryptography to verify the identity of the SSH server. On the server side, there is a component called an SSH daemon that is constantly listening to the specific TCP/IP port for possible client connection requests. Once a client initiate a connection, the SSH daemon will respond with the software and the protocol versions it supports, and the two will exchange their identification data. Um, In this page, you can find some comments to how to install an OpenSSH client and how to install OpenSSH server as well. Also, you can find some comments to connect to the remote server as well. But remind that the first time you connect to the server, you will see a message about the server host key. After confirming this key is saved, and future connections to the same server will not prompt this message. Authentication by default is one of the features of the SSH. SSH server will ask for the password of the username you are trying to connect with. However, SSH also supports key-based authentication, which is more secure and can be up for passwordless logins. Hardening recommendation for SSH. The first one is try to change default SSH port. Changing the default TCP port where SSH daemon is listening. Change it from 22 to something much higher. For example, 2 4 24596. Make sure you do not use port number that is very easy to guess, such as 22 22 22 or these things. You can type sudo nano etc ssh in, or you can manage the config file. The port the port number is in config file. The second recommendation is use SSH keys for authentications. SSH key-based authentication is more secure than password-based authentication. Generate SSH keys using SSH keygen. Copy the public key to the server using SSH copy ID. Then disable password authentication in the SSH config. The third recommendation is disable root login. Never allow direct root login to prevent brute force attacks against the root user. You can find how to do it uh, on this page.